What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews, and I'm here to take you through the most comprehensive NBA player prop preview you are bound to see today. If it's your first time checking out the channel, I'll let you know I do this every single day. I share my screen, we go through outlier, we talk about form lines, matchup, odds, what I like, what I don't, and I do all this to give you all the information that you need to make the best bets possible. Now, this isn't one of those YouTube channels where I'm trying to funnel you into a paid Discord service where I hide the high successful tips from you. Nah, this is transparent. This is raw. This is me giving you everything you need to know so that you can be a more profitable sports bettor. Now, it doesn't work for me personally. I had a lot of good reads yesterday, but ultimately when it came down to picking my actual bets, I made a few poor decisions. I finished 3-5 yesterday, so back to a losing day, and it sucks and it hurts. And I apologize if you did tail my picks yesterday, but hopefully I gave you enough information for you to make your own decisions. So on to the winners. We had Jalen Brunson to cover his rebounds and assist line. That was easy. Zubac to cover his points. That was a bit of a sweat. And we had Anthony Edwards rebounds and assists, and that cashed with ease. Now, I'm not going to hide from my losing bets. I'm going to own them. I'm going to wear them. I sucked again, and the players I picked didn't perform. We had Hardenstein, points and assists, fell a couple short, not as productive as he has been compared to other games this series. We backed that play because Mitchell Robinson was all banged up. I thought more minutes for Hardenstein and opportunities. He got the minutes, just didn't get the shots, unfortunately. Tyrese Maxey in the first quarter, 5.5 points. It was a popular play online, and you know what it is. If it's a popular play, doesn't typically hit. So he only took 2 shots, finished on 3 points in that first quarter. Took Tyrese Halliburton first quarter assist, didn't get close, only had 2 assists. He was scoring like mad today, so that was a rubbish play. I took Obi Toppin rebounds. Now, if you guys tuned into the video yesterday, I loved his points, I loved his rebounds. Should have went points and rebounds, would have cashed with ease. Only went with rebounds, absolutely sucked. He cleared his points line with ease. And then the last one is Rudy Gobert with 13.5 points. He'd be killing the Suns all series, dealt with foul trouble all game, and he also shot a terrible percentage today. So, shit day for those players and a shit day for me. But let's get into the preview then. Maybe we can find some more bangers. Let's go. All right, we're jumping straight into Outlier, and if you didn't know, now you know. I've got a 7-day free trial for Outlier. It is my go-to tool for doing all of my research on my NBA player props. You can check it out. Video link in the description box below. Now, I haven't checked out any of the lines for the 3 games available, so we'll do what we have been doing as of late. I'll go through the games. We'll also go through the box score, and then we'll just quickly review the last game to see what stood out to us. Maybe give us a bit of a shortcut into how we think things could go in the upcoming game. So we're looking at the Boston Celtics versus Miami Heat first. In terms of lineups, Butler, Rozier still out. Other than that, no changes. Same teams are good to go. Now, having a look at this Celtics and Heat box score from their last game. So firstly, with the Celtics players, what stood out to us? Jaylen Brown was a rebounding beast. He scored 22 points. Now, he was 0 from 4 from outside. So I feel like there's an opportunity here. I was already thinking to run back Jaylen Brown's rebounds, but I think his assists are a good look too. We've got Jason Tatum, 11 boards, 6 assists, and only 22 points. He hasn't hit his points line all series. What else do we have? Porzingis had another 18 points. Got to the free throw line quite well, but rebounds were low for him. Derek White, 16 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. Now, I know popular play for this game set is going to be Derek White points plus assists because of the hit rate so far this year. This playoff series. And then looking at the bench, we had no notable big achievers. Actually, Horford, 9.6 rebounds. I believe he would have covered both of his lines with that. So that's what stands out for the Boston Celtics. And then looking at the Miami Heat, what do we have? Jaime Jaquez a bit under. Did cover 5 assists, though. That would have covered his line in the 5 rebounds as well. Nikola Jovic with another strong game, 15 points, 8 boards. He would have cleared both of his lines with ease. So he's somebody that I want to have a good look at. Adebayo, 20 points, 9 rebounds. I think his points line was close to 20 in this game, but he took the most shots for the Miami Heat, so a strong outing for him. Caleb Martin sucked. Tyler Hero, 15 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Didn't get much runtime in the fourth quarter, I believe. So pretty low numbers for him. And Haywood Highsmith played 31 minutes, had 8 points and 5 assists. That's absolutely crazy. You wouldn't normally expect that. But let's jump back into Outlier. Now that we know how that last game went, our Celtics blew the Heat out, got their revenge. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we're looking at here. See, in terms of players, so what are the ones that stood out to us first? So I want to look at Jaylen Brown because I did have a bet on Jaylen Brown the last time these teams matched up. It cashed for us very well, so hopefully we can get some more of that action. So Outliers pretty much filtered this to the highest hit rate. So first is his steals plus blocks. Now I wasn't gonna bet this, but his steals plus blocks cash in 9 of his last 10, which is pretty crazy. So defensively, man's getting busy. 2 straight games in this series, and in head-to-head matchups, 9 of his last 16 against Miami. I'm looking at the playoff stats here. Did a lot of work in the playoffs, so that could be a good play, but I'm not a big fan of steals plus blocks. Let's get straight into what did I like? His rebounds, and I liked his points. So his rebound line is 6.5 again. 3 consecutive games with 8 rebounds against the Miami Heat. Minus 119 odds we're getting for this one. So the odds aren't as good as they were last time, but the line is very much the same. So I did a lot of research before I picked his rebound line in the last game. I assume nothing has changed since then. We knew that Miami would be chucking up bricks, that's for sure. So yeah, the rebound line for Jaylen Brown, I don't think is such a bad play. But what are the chances of him covering this now for 4 consecutive games? That's what I'm a little bit hesitant about. So yeah, I do like it, but what I learned in the last slate, all right, put it this way, I had like 2 bets in each game. My favorite bet from each game cashed, and all the other ones flopped. So I'm thinking maybe I can dwindle this down to 1 bet per game. It doesn't have to be 1 bet per game, but 3 to 4 bets max on the day. Even if 3 or 4 are in the same game, if I all love them that much, that's what I'm going to play. So Jaylen Brown points, though, that's one that I do have a bit of interest in. Lines at 21.5. So he went 17, 33, then 22 points. So in that last game, it was a blowout, 20-point win to the Boston Celtics. What's the line in this game? Double digits? 10.5. So it's a double digit. Celtics favored to smack these fools once again. Now, why do I like this play for Jaylen Brown? Well, one, the volume's good. So he's had 20-plus shots in 2 straight games. That's one thing that I like about it. The other is that he shot 0 from 4 from downtown in the last game. So 0 3-pointers made. I'm hoping here that he stays aggressive and then he can actually bounce back and make a few 3-pointers in this next one. He barely got to the free throw line as well. So no 3-pointers, no free throws from Jaylen Brown in that last game. Finished with 22 points. If he gets back to, he only makes close to 2 free throws per game, but he also makes 2 3-pointers per game on average. If he can get back to hitting those types of numbers, I think this 22.5 should be easy for him. So I do like Jaylen Brown's points, provided my man can stay aggressive with it. So I'll add that one to my short list. If you're interested in tailing my picks, you can see them in the pinned comment below, but I don't encourage you to tail my picks. I encourage you to learn how to research and find your own and make your own decisions. I think a great skill when it comes to sports betting is to be accountable for the bets that you make. When your bets lose, it's because you made a bad decision. It's not the player's fault because you had the opportunity to bet the under if you wanted to. And when you win a bet, it's not because that player played great. It's because you made the right decision, pick that player. So complete accountability is one thing I want to preach and encourage you guys to do. But if you're a lazy bastard or you're new to this or you don't have the confidence to make your own bets, feel free to follow me if you want to. Check the pinned comment. So Jaylen Brown, one play that I do like. I do like his rebounds as well. So one pivot we could make here is his points plus rebounds. So that's at 28.5. That's also cashed in 2 out of the last 3 games. 49% hit rate on the season. I could see that happening too. So minus 104 odds, not too bad. I actually like this better than the other one because you're getting minus 104 odds because his points line was already 21.5, so you need 22 points. So yeah, 6.5 boards. Give me that. Let's go. Okay. Jaylen Brown, points plus rebounds. I think I like that better than the points because I do like his rebounds. I just don't want to bet the same prop each and every game. What else is there that I liked in this? Firstly, just looking at the Boston players. Let's look at Drew Holiday. I don't think I'm going to like anything in here, but to give you guys a bit of value, let's preview his PRA and see what's happening there. So his points line's at 9.5 so far this series. 6, 9, and 3, gone under in all 3 games. And in head-to-head matchups, he's covered in 3 of his last 6. So the 3 regular season games, Drew Holiday absolutely smacked the Heat. So far in this playoffs, points are not coming. Now he's getting the minutes. His shot percentage is awful, 25, 33, and 20% from the field. Taking a lot of three-pointers, just not getting buckets. So I do not like Drew Holiday's points prop. He's taken enough shots to cover these lines, but his percentages are awful. His assists, though, 3.5 assists. He's cashed in one of the 3 games in the playoffs, 4 of his last 6 against Miami, had 6 assists in that very last game. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can get with that. Minus 135, I don't think so. I don't like that. Rebounds, 4.5. He's covered that in one of his last 3. So a little bit tough to get a good read here on Drew Holiday. One thing you could look at is the PRA. He's gone under his PRA in all 3 games, 16, 14, and 11. Is there any reason for him to go over? Is the question. Offensively, we know that even Derek White is stepping up. You got Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Kristaps Porzingis doing a whole lot of damage on the offensive end. Does Drew Holiday really need to do anything else to contribute, right? So, yeah, I'd probably lean to the under in his PRA. That's definitely the way that this graph is trending. Every game he's played against Miami, statistically, he's produced less of these points, rebounds, and assists. Every single game. By the look of this trend, he's going under 10 PRA in the next game. Now, yeah, I'd definitely lean that way. I'm not going to be betting it because unders have been absolutely screwing me over. So looking to avoid those at all costs today. Unless I take a look at the Pelicans. There could be a few unders there. Let's have a look at Al Horford. So he had a great game off the bench. Let's see what his lines are at. See what's cooking here. So his points line's at 6.5. He's cashed this in 8 of his last 10 games, 2 out of the 3 games in the playoffs. This game where he scored 6 points against Miami, I bet him over 6.5. It was plus money, and it did not come home for me. So that pissed me off. Looking at his minutes, 25, 23, and 22. Field goal attempts, 8, 3, and 7. 3-pointers made, 2 from 5, 1 from 1, and 1 from 4. So the 2 games I did not bet his points prop, he got real active and he took a whole lot of shots. So that's not a bad play. I think he's been rebounding quite well. Oh, his rebound line is now 6.5. He's had 7, 8, and 6 rebounds in his last 3 games. Plus money for the boards here, but I don't know if I could muck around with it. A strong play, I think, with his points would be his points plus rebounds. So he's cashed that in 9 of his last 10 games. He's cashed in all 3 games so far in this playoffs with 17, 14, and 15 points plus rebounds. So, yeah, that could be a good, decent play. 9 out of his last 10 games. What was his minutes in the playoffs? 25, 23, and 22. So if I just filter out the games this season where Al Horford's played between 20 and 25 minutes, we'll get a good hit rate based on the minutes he's projected to see. 15 out of 26 games this season has Al Horford covered this points plus rebounds, but he has covered it in 7 consecutive games now, playing between 20 and 25 minutes. Al Horford, look, going strong. Definitely going strong here. Old man Al. Actually, now I've got all the playoff games. 17 of 28. So what's that? 3, 4. So 8 consecutive games playing between 20 and 26 minutes. Al Horford has covered 12.5 points plus rebounds. So, yeah, I think I hope he doesn't put up just another 3 attempts and like he did the last time I bet him. But, points plus rebounds for Al Horford could be a good play as well. I don't mind that. I don't mind what I'm seeing here. All right, who else can get the boys aroused? Let's have a look at Kristaps Porzingis. Now, I did bet him last time. I said he would bounce back with vengeance, and that he did. Now I'd be a little bit hesitant to bet him because that motivational bounce back's not there. So he had 18, then 6, then bounce back to 18. I'm not comfortable taking him over 15.5 points. Regardless of how great the hit rate is, he's covered this in 75% of games. The fact he only got 18 points after an absolutely terrible game, that concerns me a little bit. The first quarter points prop could be a play, 4.5 at plus money. He's covered this in 2 out of the 3 games this series and 70% of games on the year. What concerns me, though, the last time they played, even though he scored 8 points in the first quarter, he only played 6 minutes. And if that happens again, chances are he's going to go under. So I don't like that play for Kristaps. Assist, I don't know why I clicked on that because no one's brave enough to bet on Kristaps Porzingis assist prop, but it has cashed in 8 of his last 10. And then the last one is his rebounds. Where's the rebounds? 7.5 for Kristaps. 4, 8, and 5 total rebounds so far in this playoff. So I couldn't tell you where his rebounds land today. All I can say is if you choose to bet on his rebounds, good luck to you, sir. Who else do we have? We've got Jason Tatum. So let's take a look. So Jason Tatum, I know he's gone under, I believe he's gone under his points line in all 3 games. Let's check it out. 26 and a half. Actually went over in one, but he's only covered this line in 8 of his last 10 games. So twice out of his last 10 games. He's gone under 26 and a half points in 8 of his last 10, averaging 23.3 points per game. So that's not great. 3 games this series, getting some decent minutes in. Shot attempts are there 18, 20, and 16. The shot percentage hasn't been great, especially from 3. 1 from 8, 2 from 6, and then 2 from 7 from Jason Tatum. And if we look at his free throws, he's getting to the free throw line quite well, though. So that's how he's getting a lot of points. But from the field, not shooting very well. And even if he was, I still wouldn't feel confident betting Jason Tatum's points. So I'm not choosing to play that one, but you might be interested in it. Looking at his rebound line, it's 9.5. Now he's covered this in 2 out of 3 games, 10, 8, and 11 for Jason Tatum. At 9.5, I don't think I could get there. I think that's a little bit too high. At 8.5, I would consider it, but at 9.5, I'm not overly keen on that. In head-to-head matchups, he has covered in 11 of his last 17. But the rebound prop for Jason Tatum, like maybe there's a world where Miami don't lose a game by 20. Maybe they lose it by only 10. That could be 5 to 6 shots that they would have missed in the last game that they don't miss in this one. That reduces the potential rebound opportunities for some of these Celtics. So, yeah, I'm not overly excited by the rebound prop here for Tatum. He's more than capable, but I'm not man enough to bet it. But you might be. Looking at his assist prop, 5.5 to the line, 10 assists in the first game, 3 in the second, and 6 in the last one. I couldn't tell you where Jason Tatum's assists are going to go. I've got no idea. I did read the comments. I think one person's comment was, I've been taking the under in Jason Tatum's rebounds and assists. It had a good hit rate in the regular season, but his rebounds and assist prop has actually cashed in 2 out of the 3 games. So, yeah, I wouldn't be keen on taking the under on that either. But, yeah, Jason Tatum, pretty good player. Difficult for me to bet on anyway. So, Derek White, let's take a look at this. And it might be a really popular pay, the points plus assists, but let's see what we can come up with. Firstly, his points lines at 12.5, minus 109. That's a pretty good number, actually. So he's covered this in 3 straight, 20 points, 13, 16 points, 33, 35, and 31 minutes played. In terms of shot attempts, 10, 8, and 14 from downtown, 4 from 8, 2 from 4, and then 2 from 7. So his last game didn't shoot very well from downtown and still managed to come home with 16 points. Didn't get any free throws either. So that was the lone game where he took a lot more shots than he normally would. Still shot 50% from the field, but didn't have the radar going from deep. So, yeah, I don't mind the play here for Derek White points. I got to tell you, the volume is pretty good. For him to get 13 points, he's taking 10, 8, and 14, and 70% of his shots are from 3. Are you kidding me? So he's making how many 3-pointers on average in this series? 4, 2, and 2. So 8 in 3 games. So he's at least getting 2 3-pointers. So he'd really need to make 5 to 6 shots in this game. So he's making 6, 5, 7. Plus, you add the chance that he gets some free throws. I think Derek White's points prop could be the wave. The volume is definitely there. But let's check his assist prop. 4.5. He's gone under in all 3 games. I don't know why his points plus assists is such a arousing play for some people, but yeah, gone under in all 3, so I'm not too excited about that. Or maybe it's points plus rebounds. It shouldn't be because that's only hit in 1 of 3 games this series. 3, 1, and 5 boards for Derek White. So I think the points one, I could get around that, but I feel like it's such an easy play. What are the reasons that we bet Derek White's points prop? I'm just thinking out loud here. We'd bet Derek White's points prop because he's hit it in 3 straight games. What are the other reasons we can bet his points prop? 7 out of his last 10. Yeah, it's not too bad. Head-to-head matchups, he's covered in 11 of his last 17, but 6 out of his last 7 games against Miami, he's covered this points line. Okay. The argument is getting a lot stronger. Now, what are the reasons why Derek White doesn't hit this points prop? Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown could combine for 70 points, perhaps. Porzingis can get involved too. But that hasn't been happening. Derek White, Jason Tatum hasn't had big scoring games. Jaylen Brown had 1 30-point game. Porzingis barely scraping 20 on his best night. So, yeah, I'm willing to take the risk here. I think Derek White could be a good play, but I do like Jaylen Brown points plus rebounds. So we'll see. I don't want to bet both of those. Plus, I like Al Horford's points plus rebounds. I want to try to trim it down to one. Hopefully, I make the right decision. And if you're watching this, hopefully you make the right decision too. So there's Derek White. All right, let's jump into these Miami Heat players. Let's start with Bam Adebayo. Now, I'm not overly keen on Bam Adebayo in this one, but let's see what we're looking at here. All right, what's outlier filtering for me? Under 13.5 rebounds plus assists has a really good hit rate, so we can start there. So he's gone under 13.5 rebounds plus assists in 12 of 17 games against the Boston Celtics. So far in this playoff series, he's gone under in all three games, 9, 12, and 12 in his last three. If we look at his last 10 games, he's actually gone under in 8 consecutive games now, under 13.5 rebounds plus assists. In terms of matchup, the Celtics, second fewest rebounds to centers, 8th fewest assists to centers on the season. I've watched them play, and yeah, they'll let teams go one-on-one against Porzingis. There ain't no doubling or nothing like that. So this could be a good play here. There's a bit of outlier magic going on. I didn't even have to look. It just served it up on a platter. Bam Adebayo, under rebounds plus assists. It's been hitting quite well. I'll probably do a bit more research to look at potential rebounds and assists, but at first glance, doesn't look like such a bad play. Now, looking at his points prop, the line's at 19.5. He's cashed this in 3 straight games. Trending in the wrong direction, though. 24, 21, and 20. That last game, he took 18 shots to score 20 points, which is not great. 44% from the field. Still yet to hit a three-pointer. And he got to the free throw line, but he's not shooting free throws all too well. So, yeah, has been scoring quite well in the 3 games, but he's cutting it fine. And I don't know if he can do it again, to be honest. I don't know. So I'm confident in that. All right. So if we're not looking at Bam, who are we looking at? Tyler Hero. See what the hell's going on with this fella. Tyler Hero. So his points prop is at 20.5. He's cashed this in 1 of the 3 games, 11, 24, and 15 this series, 6 out of his last 10 games against Boston. Now, if we break things down, his shot attempts are quite low, 13, 13, and 16. So if no Jimmy, you'd think he'd take 20 shots per game, but that's not happening. The game where he went over, he just happened to shoot 6 from 11 from downtown, 55% from deep. In the other 2 games, he was 3 from 9, which is a little bit below, but it's still closer to his average than the game where he went off. Free throws, doesn't get to the line too much, believe it or not. So, yeah, he shot pretty poorly in the last game. I'd honestly lean to the under in this one for Tyler Hero, but yeah. I'm not going to bet that, but that's the way that I would lean based off what I'm seeing. If we look at his assists, 5.5 to the line. He's covered in 1 of his 3 games in this series. He went from 4 up to 14 and then back down to 2. Now, the 14 assists is when Miami Heat won, and they were shooting the absolute lights out. There was no chance they were going to shoot that well again, and it looked like it, didn't it? They lost by 20. Hero got fuck all assists. So, yeah, look, I'm not overly keen on that for Tyler Hero. I don't know what's going on there. And if we look at his rebounds line, 4, 5, and then down to 2. So, really struggled in that last game. I think you can't help but lean the Celtics win. And if the Celtics win, chances are that Tyler Hero is going under his rebounds and assist line. So 10.5, he's only cashed in 3 of his last 10 against Boston. But let's have a look at the games without Jimmy Butler. 6 games without Jimmy Butler. Tyler Hero has only hit this line of 10.5 in 2 out of the 6 games. Season, he's played them 4 times now without Jimmy, and he's covered this line once. And that just happened to be a game where Miami were raining buckets in, and he got a lot of boards too. All the other games, Boston won by 20, and he finished with 4. Another game where Boston won by 20, he finished with 8. In this game, Boston won by 4, and he finished with 9. So, yeah, I'd lean to the under on all Tyler Hero props, to be honest. But I just want to find 1 or 2 good overs in each game, because that's a little bit more. That's better. That's a better enjoyable experience, is all I'm going to say. So, yeah, I ain't better than that. Quick look at Haywood Highsmith, though. So, played 31 minutes. I want to see what the hell that was all about. So, looking at his points, 7.5. So far this series, 0 points, 9, and then 8 points. Looking at his minutes, 25, 26, and 31.8. Shot attempts, 4, 6, and 7. Hadn't made a couple of threes in that game where everybody was making threes. So, yeah, I'm not really sold on the Highsmith play here. Assist line 1.5. He went from 3 assists to none to 5 assists in that last game, which is pretty wild. But I'm not getting no role player with a line of 1.5 assists and willing to bet it over. Like, that's not even his play style. That doesn't make any sense to me. Let's look at Jaime Jaquez. So, Jaime Jaquez, what do you got for me, my boy? Now, if you wanted, no, that underplay is rubbish. Under 1.5 steals and blocks, minus 166. Get that out of here. Let's look at his points line. So against the Boston Celtics, he's covered this in 2 out of his last 5 so far in this playoff series, 16, 14, and 12 points. So he's trending down by the looks of things. Minutes seems steady. Shots, 16, 13, and 13. His shot percentage has dropped in the last 2 games. From range, not doing all too well. 0 from 2, 3 from 6, and then 0 from 3. And he's not getting to the free throw line very much at all. So I would lean to the under for Jaime Jaquez points. I'm not telling you to bet that. I'm just telling you which way my gut tells me to go. But yeah, I'm not overly keen on this bet. Looking at his assist prop, 3.5, 4, 1, and then 5 in the 3 games so far this series. I'm not overly keen on that either. And then looking at his rebound prop, 4.5, 4, 2, and then 5 in that last game. So did cover in the last one, but I wouldn't be overly confident in taking it. One lean I could think of here is probably a rebounds plus assists. Looking at an under, that's cash in 4 out of the 5. Another pivot I'm thinking, because his points are trending the wrong way, could maybe look at the PRA and take the under here. So his line is at 22.5. If we take the under 22.5 here for Jaime Jaquez, you get plus money, and I do like plus money. And you get an 80% hit rate on the 5 games against Boston this season. So that seems pretty interesting to me. 22 in the last game, though, was quite close. I'm not going to lie. I question whether he can do it again. So, yeah, look, I don't want to bet unders, but yeah, this is one that I don't hate. Well, I do have rebounds and assist unders as well. So, yeah, I don't want to stack the deck with too many unders here, but I'll compare them. I'm not going to bet like too many bets that kind of correlate if they don't correlate, but interesting one nonetheless. Nikola Jovic. Now, this is somebody that I could fuck with. Like, I've bet on Nikola Jovic a couple of times this playoffs, and he's been pretty good to me. Now, his points line is at 8.5, usually a bit lower than that, but check this out. The 3 games against Boston, 10, 11, and 15 points, trending upwards. His minutes have gone up in that last game, so that's pretty good. Shot attempts from 3 of 9, 4 of 5, then 5 from 11 in that last game. In the game where he shot only 5 attempts, he did make 3 out of 4 3-pointers, 2 from 6 in the first game, and then 3 from 5 in the last one. So I like the volume and effort here from Nikola Jovic. He does give them some size. Sometimes when they go small, he plays the 5. So Bam gets a rest because Kevin Love cannot be played in this game by the looks of it. This match not good for him. So Nikola Jovic seeing some more time for sure. So I do like the points prop there. I don't think that's not a bad play. But I'm going to add that to my short list real quick. But there are other lines of his that I think worth looking into. I want to look into his 3-point prop real quick. Yep. So the line's at 1.5. He's cashed this in all 3 games: 2, 3, and 3. And what's he shooting? 33%, 75, and 60%. So yeah, the percentages are there. He's taking open looks sometimes, but he's making contested ones too. Minus 120. I think maybe just his points prop could be a little bit better. Points and 3-pointers, I've got a similar feeling about him. I wouldn't need to take both, just take one of them if you have to. But his rebound prop could be a good play here too. 5.5, and he's covered this in 3 games. 6, 9, and 8. So massive rebound efforts here from Nikola Jovic. You know what I like actually? We could do points plus rebounds. He's covered that in all 3. He's covered his points line and his rebound line in all games. The points plus rebound give us some extra breathing room, I'll say. So, yeah, I don't mind that. I just want to check his assists real quick. Hopefully that's not green in every game. No, it's not. So he normally gets none. Then he had a game with 6, came back to earth with only 1. So, yeah, I think points plus rebound could be a good bet here for Nikola Jovic. I might fuck with that. Nikola Jovic, yeah, that's the one. I like that one better than the other ones for Jovic. Cool. All right. Who else do we have? Nikola Jovic's done. Caleb Martin. Ain't nobody want to look at him. DeLon Wright. No one mucking around with DeLon. I think shit, I spent 30 minutes again. I do this in every single video. All right. Well, let me go back. Let me just go over the ones that I've taken a short list on and see if we can eliminate some things. So I did look at this man, Jaylen Brown, his points, and then I looked at his points plus rebounds because I like his rebounds, but I don't like it enough to bet his rebounds straight. But I think he goes over points. I think there is an opportunity for him to get more points. So points plus rebounds for Jaylen Brown. So that one survives. We then have Al Horford, points plus rebounds. Now he's on. If I think about why this one could lose, it's because the fucker plays off the bench, and sometimes he just doesn't shoot the ball. And I ain't about that life. So Al Horford can go as well. Derek White over 12.5 points. I don't think I could find a reason why that doesn't hit. Okay, so Derek White, you survive. Then we've got Bam Adebayo, rebounds and assists under 13.5. Now he was getting pretty close to it, but he's yet to. The hit rate is pretty good for this play. 80% in his last 10, I believe. I think a lot of consecutive games against Boston he's gone under, so that could be a good play. And then Jaime Jaquez, his PRA under 22.5. So I'll get rid of that. So I've got 4 plays left on my shortlist for this game. What I'll do is investigate this after the video is done, and we can go through it with a fine-tooth comb. And we might bet them all, but hopefully we only bet a couple. But we'll see where I land. If I bet them all, it's because I couldn't find a reason not to bet them. All right. So, and the reason why I wanted to do that exercise actually is sometimes this list of leans that I have is so long, just the process of eliminating them is tiring. And then by the end of it, I'm just picking anything, really. That's not true. It feels that way by the time they're out and I see the result. I was like, what was I doing last night? But anyway, you're not here to hear me hammer on about that. Let's talk about this next game. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, I got absolutely rinsed in the last game that these teams played because I predicted, like a jackass, that the Pelicans were going to keep the game a little bit closer than the one prior. And they did it. They lost this game by 21 points, 106-85. Trash. Now, let's quickly have a look at the lineups. Zion is still out and everybody else still expected to play. So all good, no dramas. I'm just going to have a quick look at the box score, see what stood out in that last game. Then we'll jump back into Outlier and see what's cooking. All right, looking at the OKC Thunder first. And what stands out to us on this page? Lou Dort, 4 from 8 from deep. He had 12 points. So we'll have a look at Lou. Jalen Williams, 21 points. He had another strong game, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. So he's been filling it up. He's someone that I haven't been looking at too closely because I don't really trust him, but he's been bringing it home. Chet Holmgren only had 6 points, 4 blocks, 8 rebounds. So pretty poor effort from him. But Larry Nance had a lot of game time, and Larry might give Chet some problems, whereas JV, he can't hang with him. We had Josh Giddey, had an amazing game, 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Man was a beast. We had SGA. He killed it in the areas I thought he was going to flop, and he flopped in the areas I thought he'd kill it. 24 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds with 4 steals. Just insane stuff. So who else is there from this team? We've got Aaron Wiggins had 6 points. Managed to turn the ball over 4 times in 15 minutes. But he had 3 boards and 1 assist. I think he's got a really good hit rate, I believe, Aaron Wiggins. But other than that, let's have a look at these Pellies. Brandon Ingram, 19 points, only 14 shots, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. So he was pretty hopeless. Trey Murphy had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. And we've got Jonas Valanciunas, 7 points and 4 boards. I think he played almost the whole first quarter and didn't come back. Herb Jones, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. He was 1 from 6 from deep, but he got to the line quite well. CJ McCollum, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. And we saw Larry Nance. He had a big game. 9 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists from old Larry. So Larry was one of the leans I had in the last game that I did not take. So, all right. Let's jump back in Outlier and see what the freaking prop lines look like, my boy. Let's have a look at Lou Dort real quick. I want to check out his points. Check out his 3-pointers made. See what the hell's going on there. So his points line is at 9.5. He has covered that in 2 of the 3 games this series with 15 and 12 points. So that's quite interesting. 6, 8, and 9 shots. The last 2 games, he was nailing it from three. 4 3-pointers in 2 consecutive games. I wonder what his 3-point line is. It's 2 on the dot. So if you play for the 2 at minus 120 odds, yeah, he did shoot a really high percentage in those last 2. He normally shoots around 37 to 40%. So, yeah, I'm not overly keen on Lou Dort, but, my man did have a good game in that last one. So, GG, my boy. We've got Josh Giddey now. I don't know what to do with Josh Giddey. Like, I bet he's under. I hope he has a good game sometimes, but my man, he's just gone wild. So, outlier filters to the highest performing prop in terms of the last 10 games. This is his first quarter rebound line for Josh Giddey. Now, he's been fucking electric here against the New Orleans Pelicans. 10 consecutive games, Josh Giddey has had more than 1.5 rebounds in the first quarter. So far in this playoff series, 2, 3, and 4 rebounds, and he does that averaging 7.8 minutes in the first quarter. How do we not take this play? I don't get it. If we look at his last 10 games, 8 of his last 10 games, my man been cashing in, minus 112 odds, and he's done it averaging 8 minutes. And he's done it in games where he's getting 6 to 7 minutes in the first quarter. So Josh Giddey to get over 1.2 boards, let's go. Now, I think Josh Giddey can get these boards because if the New Orleans Pelicans are running Joval in there, Joval just running amok on Chet Holmgren in there. So making it difficult for him to get some boards. So someone like Josh Giddey can sneak in there and scoop him up. A man from Australia getting them boards real nice. That's not actually what I want to look at, but Outlier providing the goods once again. And this is why I tell you guys to just try Outlier. Get the 7-day free trial because I'm telling you, Outlier makes it easier to find the plays with the best hit rates. It just pops up. I wasn't even looking for that. It was just the first prop available when I looked at Josh Giddey. It's crazy. Now look at his points prop. His line is at 11.5. This guy went from 2 points up to 13 points, then up to 21 points in the 3 games so far this series, cashing in 6 of his last 10. In head-to-head matchups, 8 of his last 11 against the Pelicans, he's cashed in. But let's look at a closer dive into the last 3. His minutes are going up. 19, 25, 31 minutes. His field goal attempts are going up. 6, 9, 13. So the volume is definitely there. The 3-point attempts are going up as well as the 3-pointers made and the percentage. This shit is scary. He's due to get 25 points in the next game based on these trends. Now, 11.5. I don't know if I could trust him. Josh Giddey, he's hit 11.5 points in 51% of the games he played this year. So not an amazing hit rate. The trends are definitely good. I don't know if he can take any more shots than he already did, but I got to hand it to him. He played a great game. He's been doing quite well. So I would lean to the over for Josh Giddey. I'm just not man enough to take it. Looking at his rebound prop, though, 6.5 boards in his last 3 games, 3, 6, and 8, trending up along with his minutes. I'm not overly keen for that. And if we look at his assist prop, 3.5's the line. Last 3 games, 3, 3, and then 6. So very difficult. So Josh Giddey's the no sweat type of guy. He can clear these lines in the first quarter, or he can just absolutely have you sweating bullets. So it's not a no sweat play, actually. Now I think about it, I fucked that one up. So Josh Giddey, I don't mind the first quarter prop there. So thank you, Outlier, for giving me the goods. Check out SGA. So SGA, what's Outlier giving me? His steals prop. Steals prop has an insane hit rate here against the New Orleans Pelicans. Check that out. Over 1.5 steals, cash in 9 of 11 games. The odds, minus 170 though. So that's not great. What about steals plus box? Over 2.5 steals plus box. 6 of his last 11 head-to-head games against them. Yeah, I'm not too keen on that. Let's look at his points line. 27.5. He's cashed in 2 out of the 3 games this series. 28, 33, and then 24 points. What happened in that last game? 37 minutes. Still took 20 shots. Only shot 40% from the field. 1 from 5 from deep. 7 from 9 from the line. So, look, I would lean to the over here, but with not too much confidence for SGA. Not going live. Now, looking at his assists, 5.5. He had gone under in the 2 prior. Then he had 8 assists in the last game. And then his rebound props at 5.5. 6, 3, and 5. I couldn't tell you where this is going to go. So, in the last game, I thought he'd go over his points line and under his rebounds and assist line. I was wrong about all of those. So, I clearly cannot read SGA because he doesn't necessarily follow trends. This game isn't any more important than the other. It's an elimination game. I think if OKC get a good roll on, the Pelicans are just going to fade nice and early. So Yeah, I don't. But SGA chasing stats, baby. So you could get a big game out of him. I'm not sure. I'm not taking any bets on SGA. Now we've got Chet Holmgren. The best hit rate against the New Orleans Pelicans for Chet Holmgren is his points plus assists line. He's covered in 5 of 6 games against the Pelicans. That last game, 6 points and 1 assist. He was complete ass, but prior to that, he was a freaking beast. I'm not too keen on betting on Chet Holmgren in this one. 15 and a half points, 4 of his last 6. He had the minutes in the last game, but he only took 8 shots and shot a terrible percentage. Now, is there a world where he can bounce back? Yeah, absolutely. Could be a bounce back game for him. I'm just not willing to play it. His assist line, that doesn't look great either. Rebound line is at 8.5. So this was at 9.5 for the first few games. Now that he's gone under in 2 straight, we see the line at 8.5. So yeah, I'm not sure if I could bet this either. I've never really been sold on Chet rebounds, and I'm not buying it today. So that's Chet. Who else is there real quick? Jalen Williams. How do we forget this man? So Jalen Williams, what's given us the highest hit rates over his last? Let's look at his last 5. Give us the more recent stuff. Under 2.5 steals plus blocks. Those odds are ass. Over 4.5 assists. Nah, let's just do his regular lines. Nothing of great trend here for Jalen Williams, but let's check his points prop. 19.5. He went 19, 21, and 21 in the 3 games so far in this series. Against the Pelicans, he's only covered in 4 out of his last 11, believe it or not. Minutes 40, 35, and 35. Shot attempts 18, 17, and 16 shots. 3-pointers, yeah, that's not great. And free throws, last 2 games, he hasn't even got there. So, yeah, I don't like the points prop here for Jalen Williams. The volume's not really high enough, and neither is the percentage is too high, to be honest. 59 and 56% is what he needs to shoot in order to cover this points prop. I can't guarantee he shoots that well. On the season, he shot at 54% actually, so it's not that much higher than his season average, but it's you're cutting it quite close. So I'm not overly keen on Jalen Williams' points. His assist line's at 4.5, 4, 7, and 5 in the 3 games. In head-to-head matchups, 4 of his last 11. I'm not overly keen on the assists. And then rebounds, his line's at 5.5. He's had 7, 5, and 9. So 2 out of the 3 games he's covered, and the 5.5 is at plus money. 6 of his last 11 head-to-head matches, he's covered this. So, yeah, this, I don't hate it. I'd lean to it, but I don't love it enough to take it down on my short list. So, sorry about it. Let's jump into these Pelicans. Now, Brandon Ingram, who's been complete ass, but let's take a look at it. Let's see what the hell's going on here. So, his points prop first. He's 21.5. He's gone under in all 3 games, 12, 18, and 19 points so far this series. In positive news, he is trending upwards. His minutes 37, 33, 36. Field goal attempts are not high, 17, 10, and 14. Made 2 threes on the last one. Free throws, hasn't missed a free throw, but he's not getting there enough. So, yeah, I'm not man enough to take the under, given that he is trending in the upwards direction, but I still don't think he has a massive game. His assists, that hasn't looked great. 3, 3, and 1. So the line's at 4.5. I think in the first game, his line was at 5.5. Now we're seeing it 4.5. I still don't like it, to be honest. He's gone way under in the last 3 games. This Pelicans offense cannot get it clicking against OKC, that's for sure. So, yeah, I would lean to the under here for Brandon Ingram. He has had big assist games against him in the past, but it hasn't been happening as of late. So I don't like that. And then his rebound line is also at 5.5. So far this series, 6, 4, and 4 Brandon Ingram. So, yeah, I would definitely lean to the under on this one too. So, what am I thinking here? Maybe we just take the PRA under, right? So this is games against OKC, 4 consecutive games under 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So Brandon Ingram clearly struggling in these games. Hasn't really gotten close to it. So even if with the increase in his points, we saw a decrease in his assists. So is this a game where Ingram can go for 25 points, a shit ton of assists and rebounds? Yeah, but he hasn't done it yet. Game on the line. So game on the line, I mean, series on the line. We saw a lot of superstars pop off. Devin Booker finally figured his shit out, and he went off. Kevin Durant was decent when he went off. LeBron and AD, they've been strong in every game. So I'm not overly concerned about that. But Yeah, Ingram, not necessarily a superstar. So I might consider the under in his PRA because that team just sucks ass right now. And I just think the OKC Thunder are so much better than them. It's going to be a no contest. So that's what I'm thinking of Brandon Ingram. I don't like any of his props. So we can take the whole PRA under. I think the other pivot is just a rebound and assist under. Actually, I think that might be a better pivot because just like I said, the points prop is trending upwards. And that's something I don't want to fuck around with. But rebounds and assists, the 10.5 is trending the other way. 975 heading down. Under is minus 115. That's cashed in 4 of his last 5 games. 4 of the 6 games against OKC. So, yeah, I don't mind this for Brandon Ingram because in terms of rebounds and shit, who's going to get the rebounds for the Pelicans? We already know. Trey Murphy's getting more rebounds than Brandon is, and Larry Nance's gobbling up a whole lot of boards as well. So, BI, I think I'll take the under in your rebounds and assists, my boy. All right. Who else do we have in this game? We've got Herb Jones. So he didn't shoot the ball very well in that last game. So his points plus assist. His points could be a good play. That is his steals plus blocks. That's not too exciting. Let's check out his points. So he's covered his points line in 2 of the 3 games against OKC, 8, 18, and 15. 4 of his last 10 in head-to-head matchup, 6 of his last 11. So let's see what's going on in these more recent games. Shot attempts the same. 10, 9, and 11. 3-pointers, still bombing from deep, just not shooting very well in that last game. 6 from 6 from the free throw line, which is quite rare. So, yeah, I wouldn't take any Herb Jones bets with any confidence based off the stat lines that I'm seeing here. And his assist and rebound lines, they don't interest me either. Who else have we got? CJ McCollum. All right, what do we got for CJ? So he's gone under his PRA line in 5 straight games. Let's have a quick look at that. So under in 5 straight, the 3 games this series, 29, 24, and 28. So cutting it close. And in an elimination game, CJ is somebody I can see putting up a lot of shots for some reason. His demeanor is quite different to Brandon Ingram. He's more aggressive. He takes a lot more shots. So if we see an increase in his percentages, he could probably cash. So I'm not keen in taking his under in his PRA. But his points line's at 19.5. 1 of 3, 20, 15, and 16. Shot attempts are high. Percentage is not great. Ooh, look at his 3-pointers. 9, 5, and 8 attempts. 22, 20, and 25%. So not shooting well from 3. I'll pass. Assists, 5.5, 6, 4, and then 7. I'm not overly keen on that either. Rebounds, 4.5. 3, 5, and 5. That's, yeah, no massive edge that I'm seeing there for CJ. So I don't like any of his props, but I'm not man enough to take his under. We've got Trey Murphy. Let's check out the Murph. So his assist props at 2.5. He's gone under in 4 out of 5? Yep. But he has had 2 in every game. So I'm not too keen in fading his assists. Points-wise, 21 in the first game, then 8 and 10. My man has struggled playing more than 40 minutes. Shot attempts have dropped in recent games. Not taking as many threes, still making 2 of them per game. But that doesn't look great. His rebounds, 5.5. Minus 142, though. He's hit in 1 of 3 games, so those odds aren't terrific. And we don't like his assists either. So there's nothing to Trey Murphy that's getting me feeling good about myself. Last one we have is for JV. Jonas Valanciunas. See what the hell's going on here. Let's check out Jonas Valanciunas. Now, we don't have any lines available for him, believe it or not. Just his quintuple single? What does that mean? There's no form lines? Is Jonas on the injury report? I don't think he is. I didn't see him on there. What the hell? So, what, because James Robinson Earl is a game time decision? Is that impacting Jonas? I'm not too sure. But look, either way, I wasn't going to bet on Jonas Valanciunas, so he can get fucked. Let's jump into the last game. It's the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Denver Nuggets. And we've got Jamal Murray, game time decision. He's questionable. LeBron and AD, game time decisions, but they're going to play as well. We could see a Vanderbilt appearance, though. So that could be interesting. Before we start previewing this game, let's have a quick look at the box score from the previous one. We'll see what stood out to us. We know that Lakers finally got the win. They finally broke the streak. Let's dive into it and see what's going on. Now, this series has probably been the most profitable series in the playoffs for me to bet so far. A lot of these players that you would expect to play well have played well. So let's lock score in that last game. Starting with the Denver Nuggets, we had Michael Porter Jr. continue his massive streak. 27 points, 11 boards. I think he's cashed out in 3 games, like over in his boards, over in his points. Aaron Gordon, after a very big game 3, 7 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Nikola Jokic did Jokic things, 33 points, 14 assists, and 14 rebounds. Man was a motherfucking animal. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope had 14 points and a loss. We had Jamal Murray, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. So he went under his points line again. He shot 9 for 23, so he shot poor again. So, and now he's a game time decision. So, yeah, you help but fade his points prop, given that he's injured. So I'm not too sure if he's going to play. So interested to see where his line's at. I'm not going to bet the under because I haven't had much success betting on injured players. They always seem to come out and kill it. But let's have a look at these Lakers. Rui, ass, 9 points, 4 boards. We had LeBron. He had 6 turnovers, but he had 30 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. So thankfully in that last game, my main bet was for his points to go over 26.5, and he cashed that. So good on you, Bronny. Keep getting those stats, my boy. Anthony Davis, another strong game, 25 points and 23 rebounds, 6 assists. So he didn't score very well, but he was doing everything else. So glad to see he clicked in. Austin Reeves had a strong game, 21 points and 6 assists. And we had D'Lo with 21 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. He had 4 3-pointers in that game. So D'Lo was cooking. Even Taurean Prince had 9 points off the bench. His PRA line was 8.5. So Taurean Prince was great for them as well. So we saw a lot of good players perform. I think the one thing that's important to know is this game is back at Denver. And a lot of these Lakers role players have struggled on the road. So please keep that in mind. So I think my angle for betting this game, there's a few players that have been extremely consistent. Michael Porter Jr. has been the most consistent for the Nuggets. And for the Lakers, I'd say Anthony Davis has been the most consistent. LeBron not too far behind, but LeBron hasn't consistently covered his line, whereas AD's been very good at that. So they're your probably most consistent players in this series so far. Thought process is if Jamal Murray is not at 100%, all lies on Nikola Jokic. So interested to see where his lines are. They're high as fuck. I actually had a lean for him to get a triple-double in the last game. I didn't even take it. I spent all this time sharing it on the video, diving in, and I didn't bet it like a fucking idiot. So Nikola Jokic, all eyes on him. Aaron Gordon, he could be an interesting one. There could be a bounce-back factor in it, but he can be very tough to bet on. And right now, given my recent record, I'm not willing to take that bet, but I think he's an interesting one. So we've got a few old faithfuls. I've got Nikola Jokic, who I expect to get even more usage rate. And for the Lakers, we've got AD is real consistent. LeBron, I'd probably be looking at the prop here on the road. And then D'Lo and Austin Reeves, they're probably the 3rd and 4th options for the Lakers. I don't feel confident about either of them. So Austin Reeves has struggled in Denver in the 2 games this series. D'Lo had 1 good game, I believe, in Denver, but the Lakers still lost. So yeah, I'd be a little bit hesitant on them. But maybe we just bet MPJ, Anthony Davis, and Jokic perhaps. But let's see what happens. Yeah. Now, outlier, filtering out all the good stuff for me. Let's start with AD. We'll go through the Lakers first. So, I just want to filter this by odds so it stops giving me the shit players. So, one interesting play here. Anthony Davis cashed his points and assists line in 4 out of his last 5 games, 7 of his last 10. His points and rebounds, very same hit rate. So, this is one that, without even looking at the lines, is one that I'd consider taking. His points plus rebounds, 39.5. Because this man's been an absolute beast so far in this series. In the 4 games. Yeah, it's been 4 games already. My bad. In the 4 games against the Lakers, against this fucking Nuggets. God, it's getting late. 46, 43, 48 points plus rebounds for Anthony Davis. I think I did bet this last time, and I thought the line was at 37.5. So it has moved up a little bit, but again, facing elimination, Anthony Davis has to get all the rebounds and be aggressive as hell. He can't just coast on offense because Nikola Jokic is going to be chilling on defense, and that's not a good recipe. So I can't help it. And it's not just because he's been consistent, right? Another thing I'm thinking about, the Lakers are on the road, and on the road, a lot of these role players shit the bed, whereas someone like AD, Bron, they can't afford to, right? If they lose, they're going home. And it doesn't matter how good you played in this series. If he plays shit in this one, the blame will be on Anthony Davis. So points plus rebounds, I think, is a good look. Let's have a quick look into his single lines. His point lines at 25.5. He hit that in the first three, then only scored 25 in the last game. His shot attempts were down. Shot percentage was great, but down nonetheless. And he didn't get to the free throw line as much. But he did gobble up a whole lot of rebounds. Assists, 2.5, minus 154. 5, 2, 3, and 6 assists for Anthony Davis. So cashing well so far in this series. In the past, has had his struggles, but as of late, hasn't been such a bad play. Then we look at his rebounds. What's that line at now? 13.5. 23 rebounds in that last game. So he's covered this line quite well against Denver in this series. 3 out of the 4 games. So, yeah, not such a bad play here for AD. But I couldn't tell you which one prop would be my favorite because he clearly has the potential to go over on all of them. DSO on the Lakers being good. So I'm not too sure about that. But his PRA could be a good look. So it's 42.5. He's capable of a shit ton of assists. He's covered this 42.5 without the assists, really, for most of the games. Actually, for all of the games, he's covered this 42.5 without getting any assists. So by taking the assist prop in here, you might get a little bit of extra stuff on top. You know what I'm saying? So I might be able to talk myself into looking at the PRA here for Anthony Davis. Let's fuck around and find out. So I don't mind that for AD. In terms of an individual prop, I don't tell you. All I know is my man's going to produce. He's going to be all over the place. 40-something minutes for AD. Let's go. We then have LeBron James. Fucking hell. I just realized I was sharing the NBA.com thing the whole time. I thought I wasn't going to do this in this game, in this video, and I did it. So I apologize, but the Anthony Davis shit looks good. That's all I'm going to say, because I'm not going to go back and show it all to you. Now, LeBron James. So for old LeBron, I took his over in points because I was like, game on the line. My old friend here is going to get busy. So let's look at his individual lines and see what's popping. His points props at 26.5. That's what it was in the last game. He scored 30. So far in this series, 27, 26, 26, and 30 points. So he's been right around there. On the line, you would expect LeBron to go over this line. So I do definitely lean to the over here for Bron. The minutes are there. More field goal. I expected a higher field goal attempt from him in that elimination game on the road. Hopefully he does it again. I just can't take him too much confidence. He's not hitting from deep very well in the last two. I think that's a sign of fatigue. And he's not getting to the free throw line either. So in order for him to cover this line, if he's not going to get to the free throw line and he's not going to shoot a lot of three-pointers, you need volume. And I think he's getting tired. So I can't take that with any confidence, but I do lean to the over. Looking at his assists, 8.5 this series. 8, 12, 9, and then only 4 in that last game. That the recipe for success. Get the ball out of your hands, LeBron. Let somebody else run the ship, and your offense is going to look better. But we'll see whether that happens or not. So the assist prop, I can't take that with any confidence. And then looking at his rebound prop, 7.5. Only had 5 rebounds in that last game. And he's more than capable of covering these numbers, but I think our man's gassing out. So I can't take any bets on LeBron James, believe it or not. Not feeling my man. I feel like I got lucky in that last game too. Who else do we have? Austin Reeves. Let's see what Stone Cold's doing. So we'll start with his points prop, 14.5. 3 of his last 5 in this series. So the 2 games at home, 22 and 21 points. The 2 games in Denver, 13 and 9 points. So see if we can find a difference in them. Minutes, yeah, somewhat comparable. Field goals. So check out the volume. At home, taking a lot more shots than he was when he was on the road in Denver. 3-point percentage, dog shit every game anyway. 3 free throws, can't miss. Got to the line a lot more when he was at home as well. So that's why I'm not too confident betting on Austin Reeves, just based on we've got a 4-game sample now. In Denver, I don't know if he still has he doesn't have the same level of confidence by the looks of things, but he could have confidence from the last 2, come out firing in Denver. You never know. His rebound line's at 3.5. So he rebounded quite well in the first 3 games of the series, 4, 6, and 5. Only had 1 in that last one. But once again, I don't love that. And his assist prop at 3.5 from the 4 games, 3, 2, 3, and then 6 in that last one. So yeah, no bets on Austin Reeves for me. I don't like it. D'Lo. Let's check out D'Angelo Russell. See what's happening, my boy. We'll start with his points prop. 15.5 is the line. So far in this series, he's gone 13, 23 points in Denver, came back home to LA, scored nothing, then backed it up with 21 points. How you can take a bet on D'Lo with any confidence is beyond me. So, yeah, the minutes are up and down. His field goal attempts are there when he gets the minutes. We just don't know whether the percentage is going to be there or not. Even with his 3-pointers, very up and down. If you look at these trends, D'Lo's destined. He's bound to have a shit game in this one. So, I'm not saying bet the under, but that's what the trends say. Looking at his assists, 4.5, again, up and down like a yo-yo. I couldn't bet on anything like that. His rebound prop at 2.5. He has cashed that in 4 games this series, believe it or not. But this is minus 162, so that's not a great play if you ask me. So, yeah, D'Lo ain't looking too good. Now let's jump into the Denver Nuggets. Now MPJ has been the guy. He is him at the moment. So let's just check out MPJ. Firstly, let me just check this quick injury report. What do we see? Jamal Murray, left calf strain, and Reggie Jackson has a left ankle sprain. So, okay. MPJ, his line's at 19.5 now. So he has covered his line in 4 straight games. This line is covered in 3 straight. But game 1 of the playoffs, 19, then 22, then 20, then 27. My man's been making tough shots. He's been cranking. Looking at the volume, 15, 13, 16, and then 20 from deep, 3, 6, 2, and 4 3-pointers made. So I wouldn't feel overly confident taking the points prop. The 3-point prop at home, yeah, the line's at 3. 2.5 I'd take, but 3 on the dot, nah, I don't think so. I'm not willing to do that. Percentages haven't been that great, to be honest. The volume is good, but I'm not sure I could take that. One play I've been taking religiously is his rebound prop, but that's probably moved, and it has. It's now 8.5. So this was at 7.5, his line, up until the last game. The last game, his line was at 7.5, and it was plus money. It was ridiculous. Now it's at 8.5. So what have we seen? 8, 9, 10, 11 in the 4 games this series. Does that mean he's destined for 12? Or because we move back to Denver, his home games, at home in the 2 games this series, 8 and 9 boards. So they haven't been great. So, yeah, I'll have to look into his rebound chances. I don't know if I could run this back, to be honest. Because one thing I know that, Aaron Gordon had a poor rebounding game in that last one. He bounced back. I'm not overly sure. So I feel like I've run this guy's rebound line enough. Now that it's moved, I don't know if I can take it. So I'm a bit on the fence. His assist prop at 1.5. That's not cashing too well. What's his rebounds plus assists? Give me a look at that one. Rebounds plus assists, 9.5. Yep. 3 out of the 4 games. Didn't get an assist in the first one. So that's not great either. I think if you like his points prop, the points plus rebounds perhaps. Because I love him for 8 rebounds. At 8.5, I don't know why. I'm a little bit afraid. His points plus rebounds at 27.5. That's also cash in 3 out of his last 4. I also feel like it's too easy to just bet Michael Porter Jr. because he's trending up and he's been hitting very good rebounds and points lines in every game. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's too simple. It just makes too much sense. Maybe I'm on drugs. I don't know what's going on. Well, I know I'm not on drugs, but I don't know. Uncertainty's getting to me. Let's have a look at Aaron Gordon. Maybe we can find something to get me around through Aaron Gordon. So his points line is at 15.5. He's only covered this in 1 of the 4 games this series where he scored 29 points. He was dominant. 12, 14, 29, then back down to 7. What was different? Minutes, pretty decent. Field goal attempts, 11, 10, 18, then back down to 7. Hasn't made a 3-pointer in all 4 games. He's taken one, but he hasn't made one yet. And some free throws to go with it. So the points prop, I don't know if I could take that with any confidence. His assist one, that could be with a bit of value. 2 out of the 4 games, 7, 3, 3, and 4. Once again, minus 155 though, so I don't like that. His rebound line is at 7.5. Now, talk about a yo-yo. 11 rebounds in the first game, then 7, then 15 rebounds. Now back down to 3. What could happen? What do you think happens next? I'm looking at historically, 5 of his last 15 games managed to cover this rebound line, Aaron Gordon. So, look, I wouldn't be afraid to see him bounce back and cover the shit out of that rebound line. But, yeah, I couldn't bet that with any confidence. Let's have a look at Jokic. Let's get to the main man, the big fella. Let's take a look. What the hell's going on here? All right. The Yoke. His points line 27.5. What's he done this series? 32, 27, 24, and 33 points. So he's covered in 2 out of the 4 games against the Los Angeles Lakers in head-to-head matchups, 7 of his last 15. So this points prop, who the fuck knows what's going to happen? Looking at his attempts, he's had 23, 16, 13, and then 20 attempts once again. So I'd lean to the over based on the potential Murray injury, but yeah, he can be very difficult to bet on, this bloke. Looking at his assist line, 9.5, minus 119. I lent to the over 9.5 in the last game. He had 14. I didn't bet it because I'm a jackass. But looking at these games, what do we see? Looking at his last 4, 7, 10, 9, and then 14, which is pretty crazy. And if we look at his rebound line, that's 13.5, the same as Anthony Davis. He's covered this in 3 of the 4 games. 12, 20, 15, and 14, which is pretty wild. The play that I was leaning on last time was his rebounds plus assists. It was 22.5 in the last game. I had it as a lean and I didn't take it. He finished on 28. It's now moved up to 23.5. So slowly climbing up. So he only had 12 rebounds, 7 assists in the first game. He then has covered this line in 3 straight. Now, the Jamal Murray thing is quite interesting. What I'm going to do, I'm going to Google Jamal Murray and see what news articles come out just to see. Maybe they can give us a little bit of a hint to see what the hell's going on. All right. ESPN. This was 6 hours ago. Jamal Murray, questionable for game 5 with a calf strain. Playing status in jeopardy. He was nursing a calf injury in the 4th quarter of the loss. He didn't leave the game, but he was questionable on Sunday. Denver leads 3-1. Murray struggled with his jump shot all series. Shot 38% from the field, so he can't shoot shit. He missed 23 games this season with a hamstring, knee, ankle, and shin ailments. 7 straight games down the stretch. Yada yada yada. So that's not really telling us too much. Just tells us he's a bit fucked up. If there's anything more recent than that? Oh, this one. This came out an hour ago. What do we got? Calf injury listed as questionable. Hit a buzzer beater on AD. He's had a lot of injuries this season. The Lakers would be happy if he didn't play, of course. And the Lakers, the usual suspects. Okay. So that did not help us out at all. But I think it's a worthy exercise. So what I want to do is let's look at the season. Nikola Jokic rebounds and assists with and without Jamal Murray. See what the difference is. So on the season, with Jamal Murray, 62 games, but he covered this line only 18 times. 18 of 62 with Jamal Murray. And then we go without Jamal Murray. And he's covered in 10 of 21. So the hit rate definitely goes up a lot more when Jamal Murray is not in the lineup. Now, I expect Jamal Murray to play. I just don't think he's going to be as effective as he normally is. But now I think about if he's not effective, he probably can't score as well. But I think this just means Nikola Jokic got to get those points and rebounds all over the joint. So I'm gonna bite the bullet here. I think on Nikola Jokic, take the over in his rebounds and assists. Probably get another triple double. Probably get 20 rebounds. Who the hell knows? But I know he's going to be filling up the stat sheet because that's what he does. Gentleman's sweep incoming. I hope that's the script that's in my mind. Now let's jump over to Jamal Murray. See what the hell his line's at. 23.5. Right. So Jamal Murray's gone under 23.5 in 4 straight games. Minutes are good. Field goals are sky high. But look at that. 38, 38, 38, 39% from the field. He just can't get cooking. Now, I haven't had much luck betting on players who are injured. But if you're telling me that he's now questionable report, his line has not moved, he's gone under this line in 4 straight games, and now that we know his calf is fucked up, I can get under 23.5 for plus money for Jamal Murray. I feel like that's just too obvious, no? Am I losing my mind here? Actually, what I'm going to ask you guys to do, I'm going to put the bet on here for Jamal Murray under 23.5 points. But what I want you to do is fill up the comment section on whether I should or shouldn't take Jamal Murray. So this game starts at 12 p.m. for me. So it's the last game on the slate. And I'll review those comments throughout the day. And if there is a overwhelming unanimous decision to cash the bet out, I will cash this bet out. But I just feel like it just makes so much sense, right? Under in 4 straight, can't shoot for shit. We know that he's injured. Calf's all fucked up. I think they have to get their points from somewhere else. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I'm going to take the under 23.5 for Jamal Murray. You guys just let me. I'm putting the bet on right now. Boom. Submitted. $200 on Jamal Murray, under 23.5 points, because that's what he's been doing all series, and now he's injured. You let me know in the comment section to cash it out or ride it, and I shall do so. Whatever the overwhelming positive response is the way that I'm going to go. Let's have a look at his assist prop, 7.5. He's cashed that in 2 or 4 games against LA. 10, then 5, then 9, then 5. So he's due for an over, if you believe in those trends. I couldn't tell you what's going to happen here with Jamal Murray. And his rebound line's at 4.5. 6, 3, 5, and 6. So actually rebounding quite well in this series. But again, I don't like betting the over on injured players. I've actually been betting the under on a lot of injured players, and it has been working for me. So we shall see. You guys let me know what you guys think on Jamal Murray's points prop. I got no goddamn idea. But whilst I've got your attention, our subscriber base, I think we're over 6,400. The next milestone is to get 7,000 subscribers. Another important announcement to make. I think I spoke about this in the live stream that I did last week. I'm probably not going to stop creating content after the NBA season because your boy might be getting into WNBA. I know there's going to be more betting markets on the WNBA this season. I know Outlier shares all the WNBA data. I would much prefer to bet on women's basketball than I would baseball. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comment section. And WNBA, Daft previews, we're about to get it popping. It might be something to keep us busy all year round as well. So let me know what you guys think. Best of luck to you. Hope you make the right decisions today. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.